Hi there, my name is Steve Tillman. I'm the Sussex Wildlife Trust Reserves Manager for Central Reserves, and I'm currently stood in the National Trust car park at Ditchling Beacon. The Sussex Wildlife Trust manage the Nature Reserve of Ditchling Beacon, and we're about to walk on and have a look at its special qualities. We've managed the site since 1976 on behalf of the registered commoners, who are the Ditchling Beacon and Commons Charitable Trust. So, welcome to Ditchling Beacon Common. This is the parish stone for the parish of Ditchling, which I'm currently stood in, and just on the other side is the parish of Westmersham. You've got WP written on one side, and you've got TD actually written on my side, which stands for Tenantry Down, which is the historic name of Ditchling Beacon. This is the parish stone. There's another parish stone further up to my right, and I imagine there's probably other stones all the way through the parish of Ditchling and Westmersham, demarcating the two areas. Very old. Probably go back to Saxon times, these parishes, and very important demarcating the area, especially as I'm currently stood on the registered common, so a very important marker. Welcome to possibly one of the highest points on the South Downs. We're stood by the famous trig points that are found across the southeast and most of England. This is an Ordnance Survey marker that Ordnance Survey used to use for mapping Great Britain, and it's on the site of the beacon, so hence the Ditchling Beacon name. This is a site of the famous Armada beacons that used to run along the length of the South Downs, and also on the site of the famous South Downs Way, which is an extremely busy thoroughfare, an ancient thoroughfare used for thousands of years and still used today by visitors, by dog walkers and horse riders, and many other people visiting the southeast. So we're currently stood on an Iron Age hill fort. This landscape has been used for thousands of years, and this hill fort is one of a string of hill forts across the top of the slopes. We've got Wolstonbury in the distance, and we've got Caburn going east, and on a really good day you can see Sisby Ring from here at the back of Worthing, but they go on to the Trundles and all the way along to Winchester. So without sheep, we wouldn't have the South Downs. Sheep have been an important site on the South Downs for thousands of years. This is a very important agricultural landscape. You can't plough it up, so farmers and landowners put sheep up here, and this is extremely rich for sheep grazing. These sheep in front of us are Sussex Wildlife Trust owned sheep, and we manage the site annually. These have been on for about 6 weeks, and they'll come off, and then we'll probably get them back on again after Christmas. And they are creating a diverse grassland sward, which sounds technical, but it just basically means that the grassland isn't like a bowling green. It's not flat, it's all tussocky, and there's different heights, and they're basically just eating it in a random way. Sometimes around the flowers, sometimes they're taking the flowers off, but we're not creating a bowling green using mowing tractors and lawn mowers. Well, I don't know if the camera can actually see the challenging slopes of this site. I'd probably say it's the hardest site to manage for the Sussex Wildlife Trust, although I'm probably biased. extremely steep slopes. We've just recently had contractors strimming some of the slopes for us, and the sheep are currently grazing the aftermath of that operation. For the people managing this site, it is extremely hard work, but the sheep following on is crucial for us to be able to continue the management. They can get into all of the nooks and crannies, and they can carry on the hard work that the people we've had working on this site, both volunteers and contractors. And without them, we couldn't really manage the site. So the site is only 50% grazed at the moment. We are struggling to maintain areas of chalk grassland outside of the grazed area, but we'd very much like to change that and be able to put more of the site into sustainable management. And we hope, with the help of the public and with people using the site, that they will enable us to be able to find a way forwards to do this. So I'm stood on the edge of an old quarry site, and again it's another example of man's intervention into this landscape. And chalk was an important constituent of lime, which is important for the cement industry, or was important for the cement industry, and also for agriculture, for breaking down the clay soils we have on the Weald. In fact, just around the corner out of view is the lime kiln cottage, where a lot of this lime would have ended up. So one of the biggest challenges for this nature reserve is the Bostel Road that cuts through the middle of the site. It divides the site into two areas, and we've got to manage those two areas, and we've got to manage them separately, unfortunately. We don't know how to do that yet, but I'm hoping this consultation will allow us to find a way forwards. So behind me you can see a dead tree, and to my left you've got a dying tree. These are ash. They are suffering from the disease known as ash dieback, cholera. Since 2012, ash dieback has come in from Europe and has decimated the UK ash population. And for this site, where 50% of the site is actually ash woodland, it's devastating. Devastating in the death of a tree, and devastating at the cost of managing the kind of aftermath of the tree dying, and the danger that it presents to the public and to road users. And if you pan round, you can see there's dying ash across the whole site. One of many challenges that the Wildlife Trust are having to deal with at the moment on this site. So this is one of the richest chalk grassland banks we've got on Ditchling Beacon Nature Reserve. Why is it rich? Well, it's got no more than about 2 inches of topsoil, and then you're straight onto the chalk. It's very free draining. It's got very low nutrients, and because of that, plants can't really romp away. There's not enough strength for them to outcompete each other, and because of that, you have a high diversity of plant life. It's a falsehood to call it grassland, because actually there are more flowering plants within this area of chalk grassland than there are grasses. So if you come here in the summer, in July and August, this is a carpet of blues and oranges and yellows, all different types of orchid, all different types of flowering plant. But you know, we've lost 95% of our chalk grassland since 1945. And so all we're doing now is we're looking at these little banks and these little corners of remaining chalk grassland, and we're holding the line and we're trying to extend them out slowly. If you take a square metre of chalk grassland, you can actually count up to 50 different plants. There's no other habitat that rich in this country, or probably in a lot of the world. And that's going to get lost if we don't manage it and if we don't look after it. And we need to do more than just hold the line. Thanks to the Changing Chalk project, funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund, we hope that through a consultation process we can better manage this site and in the future extend the management of the chalk grassland and not just hold the line.